no doubt remember when this airfield was built, Bill?
Yeah.
Now, I can remember it vaguely, but I can't remember that much about it. But I do recall that all the sound and that come from Dean's, didn't it? Was it Dean's place that played it?
Yeah.
Well, now, can you actually remember them coming on the place and building it?
Yeah, I remember the first day.
Yeah, can you tell me when that day was?
Well, I can't tell you the day.
Or year, should I say, or month or what?
No, I don't know. I think that was around about September time.
That'd be September 41, would it? 41.
Yeah, it was
So it's
September,
completed in 42 when
Yeah.
they came. You and I, when the first B-17 came, now, am I correct in saying that they came in from that direction from that's east to west?
That's right, yeah.
And we were at the top of dispersal near dispersal 13. Now, I may be wrong here, but I got an idea that we were standing at the top of the dispersal 13, or round the corner, and they came up round this way, the first lot.
I think you're right, Sam, yeah?
Silver in colour.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, because there were some of those that were carby ones.
that's right, yeah.
Now, I had pretty to remember that. I think that was about, we'd come out of school, and that would be about 4 o'clock time in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's about 5, 10 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you remember, or can you recall any sort of special events such as any missions at all that they went on, anything that come to your mind that was sort of special?
No, I can't. No missions, no special ones. No.
Nothing that.
Only went at 100 bomber ride or 1000 bomber ride.
Which one was that one?
When Mustaf went from here, and there was only about 1 or 2 come back.
Oh, that's the Munster ride.
Yeah.
You remember the Munster?
Yeah. Because there was some RAF went all here at the same time with them.
Yeah. October 10th.
Do you remember they had some Lancasters lined up along here?
Yeah, I got a note about those actually. I had made a note about those. That they stopped here, and now I can recall that they were here on a Sunday morning, and that was a Friday. The mission wasn't it? Or was it a Sunday? But they were parked just outside this section there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, am I right in saying that we know there was only 1 aircraft come back out of all this, from up here, there was 13 aircraft went and 1 come back.
Yeah.
Do you recall seeing that aircraft land?
Yeah. Be shot to pieces.
Yeah. Now, one point here, was that an aircraft, and I may be wrong here, but I vaguely remember that aircraft coming back, and when that touched the ground, the engine, there was 2 engines coming onto it.
Yeah, coming on turn, the other one cut, it was that landed.
Well, that's where we've got it right.
Yeah.
You did refer, we was talking one time about the aeroplane that crashed, and you was on your way home from school.
Yeah.
Can you just describe?
Yeah, well, we come from school, and I was riding on some horses in Drapers Farm, and Jack Stone was on one horse, and I was riding on the other. Coming past where that old pillar box used to be down there on the other road there, you know.
Yeah, down on the bottom road, the bottom road, yeah.
And as we come past, that aircraft come round with its wing right down like that. And we say it hit the trees.
Do you recall riding on the fire truck at all? From the control tower?
Not out to fire, no.
No, out to standby when they used to come out, or when an aircraft come in and they thought it was going to crash. I thought I vaguely.
No, we never went out there. No.
Oh.
We weren't allowed out there. We could only sit there and and watch him go out. You weren't allowed to go out on the side of the runway and stand and watch him.
Did you go to that Christmas party they had up here?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Can you tell me why you didn't go to that, Billy? Or can you remember anything about that? Well, you wouldn't know anything about it if you didn't go, but do you remember why you didn't go?
I just can't remember why I didn't go.
That was held at the Red Cross War one.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
There was lots of children went,
Yeah.
boys and girls went, but I never went.
When you, well, because you and I used to eat in the mess all a lot, didn't we?
Yeah.
And,
near every meal,
that's right.
when we got a chance.
Yeah, when your mother wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
What about the food, the way they served it up?
Well, all on one plate.
All on one plate?
All on one plate, yeah. Yeah, you got everything on one plate.
Can you recall,
Picture house?
oh yeah, we used to sneak in there. What about the flare paths? Can you remember how putting them out?
Yeah,
In when there was foggy weather?
that's right, putting the oil things out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
Had like watering cans with a wick come up.
yeah, they were cool, they were.
Like watering cans. And they got a spout on them like an actual water level. And there's a thick wick come up in them. And they load the wick, set it on the side and load the wicks.
What about the across from the runway at night when the aircraft were landing or when it was getting dark, and we used to come back from fishing. We used to say, well, we've got to try and make it before this one come in, and we
Yeah.
would just get the front of it or just behind it.
Yeah.
Sort of play
Yeah.
silly buggers to try and get across first. You can recall doing
Now,
that.
okay,
Cars,
yeah.
you had aeroplanes.
Pardon?
Instead of little cars, you had aeroplanes.
That's right, yeah. We used to get up the end of Thorpe Abbott's end there and sit down on the grass and let them come right over our heads.
Mm.
You remember that, Bill?
Okay, yeah.
During the winter time, can you recall the aircraft sliding everywhere when they came in?
Yeah, yeah.
And all the snow on and all
Yeah.
You know we was talking the other week about the Blitz hangar.
Yeah.
We never went in there, did we?
We weren't allowed in. Never could get in.
No. Well, you know the next door was Link Trainer, wasn't it?
Ring tiny, yeah.
Yeah. We went in there
Mhm.
because we used to jump in the little
Yeah.
aircraft.
Yeah, I had a little aircraft up there.
Next door to that was a Provost, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's private life. We know that.
Yeah, we knew too well.
Yeah. That's where they stood us up.
Your mum done laundry, didn't she?
Yeah.
You don't recall sort of how many or who she washed for? at all?
Yeah, Cat and Carlton.
Yeah, or just, at the back here. Spangler?
Spangler, yeah. One of them was Norton, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right, he was at the back here. What about the refueling station just across the road, the Sad Shack as they call it in the back there? What did the, do you know on there? Much? Know
Yeah,
the names?
Clyde Wright.
Yeah.
He was in there. And I recall one night that there was a fire guard on there with a rifle
On this,
on the petrol station.
yeah.
And the fire officer come round to him and he said, now what would you do in the case of a fire? And he said, run as hard as I bloody well could.
What ran here?
Yeah, out here, yeah.
Yeah. Can you remember or recall other names of aircraft apart from Silver Dollar, Full Rush In, Sunny?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know where that was?
Yeah, on this one.
On this one?
There was Sonny the first and Sonny the second.
Well, there was two on
There was three on
Three?
there. Yeah.
here. Sunny 1, 2 and 3.
There was only one on there at a time.
Yeah, that was replacement.
That's right,
Yeah,
yeah. Sonny, the first one I named that Sonny.
Yeah.
And then when it got shot down all this, and another one come on, they named that Sonny the first.
What about the, up further?
Ah, yeah, there's several up there.
Yeah, there was quite a few up there. There's
Yeah.
a whole cluster up there, yeah.
Well, that's where Fool's Rush used to be up there.
Yeah. Well, what was this one at the bottom here?
Well, we couldn't tell you next thing.
Because there was one that was called Hang the Expense, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And that was the one that had the most crashes or something. There was Silver Dollar, Full Rush In, and it was Super Rabbit or Brer Rabbit at the top.
Super Rabbit.
Super Rabbit,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Argyle Sow.
Yeah.
No. That was somewhere along here, wasn't it?
That stood up there next to the farm, just this side of the farm.
Ah, that was the one, because they were always firing at dispersal, weren't they?
Yeah.
Putting petrol on it
That's
and
right.
firing it.
Yeah.
Well, that had a hell of an oil leak and they couldn't cure it, I don't know, but they was always
I know,
firing.
with burning oil off.
Yeah. Now, 351st Tech Supply,
Yeah.
and this was the 351st Engineering Unit, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Is this what this called here? Give me what? This was the administrative office, wasn't it?
Yeah. This one here, this one up here was, yeah.
Yeah, well, Captain Carlton, he
That's
was,
right,
he,
yeah.
he was in charge of the whole
Yeah.
whole line, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Do you remember anybody in the 351st Tech Supply? Tech Sergeant Cummings?
Yeah. Coming,
And the chap up there first, from Alabama Maddie, he was always playing a bloody guitar or something?
Can't recognise him.
Do you remember any names in the control tower? And would you recognise them if you saw a photograph?
No, only bloke I knew up there, what I can recall as Carl Huff.
Carl Huff.
Yeah, he was on the fire crew.
Yeah, that's where we used to get all the most coffee there.
That's right, coffee and fried eggs.
That's, oh yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they were nice that fried eggs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Coffee and fried eggs.
yeah, the fried eggs, they were damn good, they were.
Bloody good.
That coffee was good too, Gary.
Yeah.
Because coffee was the best.
That's all done on a big old tortoise
You
stool.
didn't get coffee at home much then, did you?
No.
Big old tortoise stool stood about 3 foot high, and in winter time it used to be red. You couldn't get near it, could you?
No, you'd put your bit of toast on that.
Yeah.
And of course we used to be bread up from the village and
Yeah.
light bulbs, that's what we used to consume most of.